Welcome back to Laney College here at halftime in the 2018 AUDL season opener, as the longtime rivals San Francisco Flamethrowers and the Spiders do battle in their traditional home-and-home opener. And it's the Spiders here in the 19th meeting between these two teams with 11-8 lead at halftime. We'll have some replays up here in just a moment. And Rubes, your overall thoughts on the first half of both teams so far?
The wind definitely played I think earlier in the game the wind played a big factor. A little sloppy here and there. First goal, nice around break to Gavol. There's that wind at play. This should be an easy goal to find, but the disc just pops.
It's like the way to score your first goal of the season.
Great inside out to Cohen there. Oh, this is a nice catch. That's, again, one of those, like, wind passes that just takes it. It's a nice throw. There's the wind working for you. That holds the disc up so Eli can run under it. Easy throw. Basically the exact same throw. A little inside-out backhand to space. Easy catch for Sanchez. Jeffrey's had a really nice game. Jordan Jeffrey throwing a goal there. He's had a big impact early, I think. This is a nice throw from Norden that just allows Early to toe it in and keep it in.
Love that he scraped the toe just like a wide receiver there on the sideline. Make the catch.
This is a nice, great sort of chemistry inside-out forehand there for a goal. Great hook from Zaccaro, puts it right where it's in. Great catch easy catch for Stearns. Big lefty. And this is a clock running out hammer from Chartok that sent the Flamethrowers into halftime maybe feeling a little bit better about themselves than they were 10 seconds before.
11-8 is the score here at halftime. We'll be back with the second half of Laney College in just a minute's time.
I've been coming to Mobius for over a year, and it's changed my life. Ever since I started coming here, I've gotten in more shape. I've met great people.
If you're just new and you want to start out, you don't have to find your own way to do it. You get people that are showing you exactly what you need to do, so it gives you a perfect program.
Classes are great. There's a high energy. We like to have a great time. They play great music, and we get a workout in super quick, and we can get on with our day.
For the best Mexican food in the Bay Area, visit Pancho Villa Taqueria in San Mateo. We've been satisfying the craving for authentic Mexican food for years, whether it be one of our super combo platters or a burrito with our award-winning salsa. The flavor of old world tradition comes to you in every one of our individually prepared meals. Why settle for anything less? Always fresh, always good. Pancho Villa Taqueria, 365 B Street, San Mateo.
Next Level Flag Football, the safe way to teach kids the game of football. Open to boys and girls in grades K through 7.
We allow people to sign up with their classmates and their buddies.
They have all their friends. They've made a great team. They have so much fun. It's a great family atmosphere.
There's nothing better than creating memories through football with your friends. So come out, play Next Level Flag Football, and win that trophy.
Next Level Flag Football, the fastest growing youth sports organization in the Bay Area. Sign up today at nextlevelflag.com. Next Level Flag Football, the safe way to teach kids the game of football. Open to boys and girls.
We are back at Laney College in Oakland for the second half of this 2018 AUDL season opener. Defending champion Flamethrowers hosting the San Jose Spiders. And it's the 2014-2015 champion Spiders in the lead of this one. 11-8. Rubes, what do you need to see out of the Flamethrowers in the second half to try and take this victory here on opening night?
Offensively, they just can be. It's not going to be tough for them to be a little more consistent. If they just clean it up a little bit, I think they can get back into this pretty easily. Neither team has really been particularly sharp offensively, and if the Spiders have a little 2 or 3 point lapse, it's only a 3-point game. They get within 1 or 2, and then they're within striking distance going into the fourth quarter.
Have you seen anything to indicate that fatigue may start to settle in the second half of play?
I thought I might have seen a little drop-off midway through the second quarter, but I think that's kind of to be expected. Guys are going really hard when the game starts. There's going to be a little drop-off, but they have a chance to catch their breath. I don't think it's going to really be a factor. Unless there's some very long points, but we haven't seen too many of those.
San Jose receive the pull. Stephen Chang gets us underway. Spiders, excuse me, with a 3-point lead. We'll recap the scores from the first half here in just a minute. There's Early sending high over the top. Stearns gives chase. Can Stearns get there? Swatted away. Wow. That is superbly read there by Alex Pan.
That was a lucky turnover there for the Flamethrowers because Stearns is wide open and Stephen Chang, who was Pan was defending, ran his man into the play. He was out of the play when the throw went up.
Now can Corbett and the Flamethrowers capitalize now? Pan has it. Grundy makes a cut. Now he dishes it off to Schafstein. And
little extra contact.
Yeah. Sakaro there with the foul on Schafstein. Oh, that's just, he's made a couple of mistakes in this game, especially in the first half. And his second half doesn't get off to the way that he like or would like to, as he was trying to find Corbett. That throw too low.
Early and Stearns have really kind of been having their way. Let's see if they can keep it rolling here. Nice little scuba.
Early's making a cut downfield towards the far side. Now Stearns, Early comes back to the near side. He's being hounded by Grande.
Nice catch.
Yeah, it was nicely done there by Nick Murphy. Murphy has a goal back in the second quarter for San Jose. Oh, nicely done. Wow. Sonny Sakaro to Shane Early. And Early has a hat trick. A goal in each quarter. San Jose now a 4-goal lead.
I don't know who is defending Early, but they got to put somebody else on him because he was a good 15 or 20 yards open when that initial hammer went up. He could just stand under there and wait for it, and then he just spins his man. He just leaves his guy in the dust. There's his guy way behind the play. He took a couple steps towards the middle of the field. His man, Josh Ewan, completely commits to the middle of the field. He just spins out to the corner for easy goal on a cute little scuba.
Shane Early was the 2017 Spiders Rookie of the Year. 46 goals, 12 assists, 96% completion percentage. And, man, he's going to be quite the impact player potentially for the Spiders once again this season as
He and Stearns downfield are a load to deal with. They're both tall. They're both fast.
There's Cohen. Hucks it deep for Sanchez. And Sanchez makes a catch over Fallett. Wow. Second goal for Marcelo.
Fallett is no slouch defensively, and he makes up a lot of ground when this throw goes up. That's a nice, really a well-timed catch from Sanchez. You could see just in the foreground there, Sanchez starts to go deep, goes up. Wow, great catch. Catches it at the very peak of his jump.
And he still had about 3 to 4 inches over the defender as well. And that go ahead.
Just before that throw went up, you saw just out of the corner of your eye what Cohen saw, which is that Sanchez caught Fallett a little flat-footed, puts his head down and goes deep. Those guys have played together for a long time. Cohen's got a lot of faith in him. He doesn't think twice before putting that up.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, what I was going to say.
Did I?
That last season well, I didn't want to say it like that, but that last season connection, as we've seen, has paid dividends for the Flamethrowers so far here tonight. And it's the Cohen to Sanchez connection that makes it back to a 3-point lead.
I don't know who is on Early, but he is literally uncovered on this half of the field.
He is. And now making a cut downfield is Mark Lynn, and Lynn with the easy catch for his second goal. So San Jose are not afraid to spread the wealth around tonight. They have 9 different scores, and that's the second of the day for Lynn.
Neither team was very shy about hucking Early. It just wasn't very effective. Now these hucks are starting to drop in. The wind has died. It's still a little windy out there, but it's not nearly as stiff as it was. Looks like we may have a offensive display on our hands here for the second half of this game.
You can look at the football goalposts at the left end or the east end of the field, whatever you want to call it, but those flags at the top of the goalposts are certainly nowhere near as active as they were.
One of them's lying down flat. I mean, it's just not blowing out there very much anymore.
When this game started, 4-goal lead, the biggest of the evening now for San Jose once again. And Kearns will try to get something going here for the Flamethrowers. Here goes Davis. Here's the huck. Davis gives chase. Davis is leaping backwards, and it's well defended there.
Excellent.
Lead by Sam Coons.
Excellent scrambling, switching defense there. Cohen had no one. His defender left him completely alone, so they called some switch downfield, or they just recognized that Davis was going deep, and they put a couple guys down there to defend him.
It was indeed Sam Coons there with a fine defensive effort for the Spiders. Leading high to reel that in was Crawford. Over to Norden.
Playing with house money a little bit here. They just got to be steady. Ooh.
This one over the top now for Hernandez.
He nearly got that.
Yeah,
wow.
he did.
That throw was behind him, too.
And Cohen is on his horse back the other way. Here is Cohen, and Davis is making a cut. Davis is going to really have to hustle, and there's just no way in the end with that tailing away from him. Even his superhuman ability was not going to catch up to that one.
He is not going to get that one, no.
Maybe it looked like for a second he might.
Maybe going to the well here a couple too many times to really, you know, expect that Davis is going to be able to run everything down. They throw it in deep.
Justin Norden gets us back underway.
Ooh.
And
wow,
that huck there is well out of range of Matthew Crawford. So both teams starting to uncork it here a little bit in the second half. Sanchez now will have a go looking for Kearns. Oh, that's really well read there.
That's a nice help defense. Great help defense.
And Sam Coons again. We saw him make the play in Davis earlier.
This is really good help defense. This is not Coons' man. That's Karazi's man. Nice D. I don't think Kearns knew he was coming.
He's actually helping out Jake Tozer there, 63. Either way, though, way to back up your teammate. And you can definitely say now the conditions have settled down immensely from the first quarter of play.
Yeah, the throws are a little crisper here.
Gabriel Hernandez.
He just threw away that backhand the last possession. Notice that he looks that off. He looks off that huck, even though he might have had it, but he's not going to try it again.
Norden.
There's Bobcat. Oh.
It's a great play there by Andrew Barry, making up for his error back in the second quarter of play. We approach the midpoint of the third. Flamethrowers still trailing by 4.
That disc still got over Barry, but he just interfered with Bobcat's vision enough to make that a much harder catch than it needed to be.
Sanchez looks right, wants Cohen, finds him open. It's just shy of the goal line. They thread it through, and it's Sanchez finding Andrew Barry. So the two major signings for the Flamethrowers in the offseason have both scored goals now. Corbett in the second period, Barry in the third.
This is a nice piece of work from Cohen to Sanchez. He fakes, Sanchez plants, and comes under just on the fake to leave his defender in the dust, who's Crawford, to leave a nice wide open throwing lane into the end zone for Barry. So that's, again, that connection, that chemistry, that familiarity, those two guys playing together pays off.
Are you surprised, perhaps, that the players that have more chemistry with each other from playing before are now starting to step up into these roles for the Flamethrowers here?
No, I mean, it certainly makes sense. They know who the guys are going to ride pretty hard to bring them home are, and it's going to be Sanchez, Cohen, Davis, guys like that.
It's actually turned into quite a pleasant night. We had a late season April storm here that threatened to make this a wet day. In the meantime, a huck over the top, giving chase and making the catch is Jackson Stearns.
Wow, great throw from Mark Lynn, new addition to the Spiders. This is just I need to watch myself here. I'm going to say something to get myself in trouble. But that is a fantastic bending blade.
Oh, yeah.
There's that. He threw this earlier in the game too. Drops it right on the money, right out of the defender's grip. Stearns doesn't even need to break stride to get that. That is a perfect throw.
And you could see when Byron Liu turned around, he knew that there was nothing he could have done about
there's
that.
There's nothing he's going to do. Granted, it helps to throw to a guy who's like 6'5" because your window is really taller than throwing to a shorter man.
Spiders now gradually asserting their dominance in this game. It's still a 4-goal lead.
Yeah, still within reach here. Long way to go.
Chartok. Haven't called his name that much here in this third quarter of play so far. We haven't called Gaval's name that much either so far. He did have the opening goal of the season for the Flamethrowers.
Looks like they're running a Dominator here. A Dominator is where you have your 3 handlers are the ones that are going to be throwing to one another. It's sort of an extended give-go.
And Gaval will be left. Oh, a diving play. Did he make the catch? He did. It's Sanchez for the hat trick.
Wow, it's a series of scoobers that results in another scoober for the goal. There's that scoober, upside down, nice catch. Just a hair off. You couldn't see his feet there, but the refs are right there, and they called him in. So that was a Dominator with Chartok, Lavole, and Eli Kearns. They're just gonna give go down the field. If a pass gets sort of beyond the group where they get a lot of yardage, then the cutters downfield are probably gonna activate. Here's another look at that.
See if you can illustrate that.
Oh, yeah, his feet are down. His feet are definitely down. Nice catch. I believe the term you might use is cheeky or risky. That's a very risky throw.
Audacious throw.
Audacious. Ooh, that's good. They're going to try to throw a roller here and put it out of bounds. I will imagine a double team is coming. There's no real reason to roll out of bounds unless you're going to try to set up a double team, and that's what the Flamethrowers are doing.
The current roster, Marcelo Sanchez led all goal scorers of 45 last season. He has 3 so far tonight.
Nice
A nice one-handed snag there by Early. Lynn has it. You've been impressed with the way he's played so far.
I really have. He's been good.
There's Young.
Ooh, someone's wide open cross field.
Chang threads it. Deflected away by Hunter Corbett.
Wow. Chang looked off a crossfield hammer to Early to force it down the line, and Corbett makes up a lot of ground. There, he just recognized it right there. You see how he kind of just stepped up and snapped? Wow, nice D.
Uh-oh, now the Flamethrowers in a heap of trouble.
I think it's just sort of a mishandled dump there.
Yeah,
that results in a turnover in the end zone.
Yeah, by Kirkland. And it's an easy pass from Zaccaro to Mark Lynn, who now perhaps is starting to make a case for player of the game
he
here
is
for San
definitely
Jose.
making a case, yeah, and he's making a case for being a tremendous addition to the Spiders as well. When they lost the third guy of their offense that really made it click of their handlers last year was Chuck Cow. He's out. He has a foot injury. But the one thing Chuck Cow has is a giant cannon of a forehand, and so far we've watched Lynn throw 2 absolute dimes on forehand hooks.
Time to say thank you to wonderful sponsors. Please tell them you saw here on the Bay Area Online Sports Network. Airpark, great long-term parking at Oakland Airport, conveniently located on 98th Avenue.
In beautiful Oakland.
Catahoula Coffee Company, the best local coffee roasters in the East Bay. The Bay Area Disc Association, teaching ultimate in the East Bay to underserved kids. And to Cliff Bar, if you're a healthy and active player, grab a Cliff Bar and eat healthy. Here come the Flamethrowers on the far side. It's Andrew Barry. Oh, wide open pass into space. That is really nicely done.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's Antoine Davis with the hat trick.
Okay. Yes, Antoine Davis is open. That is a ridiculous throw. That is a crossfield backhand to the perfect spot. That is just a phenomenal throw. Look at him bend this. This is an outside-in backhand right on the money. That's not, people, folks at home, not an easy throw. That's a great throw. Wow. That got me out of my seat just on the throw, even if it wasn't caught.
That was Eli Kearns with the throw as well.
That's a great throw.
So the Flamethrowers are still hanging around here in the third quarter with 4.5 and change to play. It's just a 3-goal lead now for San Jose. April has been a kind month to the Flamethrowers. They're 14-3 all time.
Wow.
And a 7-1 in the last 2 seasons. So they'd like to get their April campaign off to a similar start. Zakaro works it down the near side. Oh, that's a fine throw, too.
Speaking of a great throw.
Oh, and he dropped it.
Oh, my goodness.
That was almost a mirror image of the previous throw, and it's Sabin who drops it.
That was a great throw. Again, way more risky. He wings it over the entire defense. Hits Sabin. I mean, you know, hit him in a bad spot, the hands. But, wow, great throw. Tough drop.
Schafstein. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. That was Sabin making up for it.
I would dare say.
Wow.
I think there's a conversation that a timeout might have been called before that turnover occurred.
Well, that was a spectacular leaping. Look at this effort here from Sabin.
He's in really good position to make a D right there. That is a very ill-advised throw. But I think that was Scharfstein, right? Scharfstein, it's a very, very, very high count. He had to just get rid of that. And that was his, he felt like that was his best bet. But Sabin definitely makes up for it. I don't know if did the timeout get called before the throw went up? I'm guessing that's the case. Because the disc is back where it was when before Scharfstein threw it.
So he gets bailed out there by Coach Greeno.
Smart on Coach Greeno. He's watching the same thing we are. He's watching Scharfstein look around, look around, look around. Nothing's happening, nothing's happening, nothing's happening. Good. That might be a huge call. If they score on this, that changes this from a 4-point game to a 2-point game.
3:41 remaining in the third quarter of play. Just going back briefly to that statistic about April. They've averaged 27 goals a game in April, have the Flamethrowers, and I don't know if I see them getting quite to that average here tonight, but this would be one of the more guttier victories they've had. And these two teams have really had some battles over the years. They've had numerous contests back in 2016 and 25-24 victory for San Francisco on the road in Los Altos. And then the previous year in 2015 at Foothill College, an 18-17 victory. So these two teams have had close encounters in the past. Here's a huck over the top as the Flamethrowers give chase. And this is through the hands, caught by Corbett, and it's Davis for his 4th goal, and that went through the hands of Greg Cohen, caught by Corbett, who then finds Davis for the score. And that swing that you talked about, Rubes, just happened.
Wow. This disc gets early. Shane Early is in really good position to make a play here. And it goes over his head. Oh my gosh. So Corbett never gives up on the play. Comes down, cleans up the garbage. Wow. And then Brandon Fine nearly makes a block there as well. Good golly. Wow. Early may have just hurt himself. He's limping off the field right now. He laid there for a second after after Cohen caught that pass. I'm hoping it's just a cramp. But good heavens. Talk about a swing.
That might have been the shrewdest coaching move there of the night, perhaps.
Maybe Coach Greenow actually proves his value with that call.
What could have been, as Rube said, a 4-point lead for the Spiders, now just a 2-point lead. That's a one-handed snag there by Jackson Stearns.
Looks like the wind is picking up. You notice that these throws are starting to bounce a little bit now? Those are starting to hang a little bit going this direction. They got to be careful. Yep, it's going to float, but it might be okay.
Zakaro there is able to find Steven Chang on the far sideline. And now Stearns at the other end takes a body blow. What's the call here? He collides with Lou.
I think Byron Lou is calling it on himself. Yeah, he's calling the foul on himself, just so he erases any chance that the refs didn't make the call. Maybe they're out of position. He knows he fouled Jackson on that one. This is a nice around break. Yeah, it's definitely.
That's a foul.
Yeah, I would dare say that's. Yeah, and as soon as he gets up, Byron Lewis, he knows it as soon as.
And they Stearns to Zakaro for Sonny's first goal of the evening. So that now makes 10 different scores for the Spiders on the night.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah, we've got, let's see, Shane Early with 3, Crawford with 2, Fine with 1, Zakaro with 1, Young with 1, Stearns with 2, Thompson with 1, Fallett with 1, Lynn with 3, and Murphy with 1. That's 10.
Wow,
10?
Yeah, that's 10.
If you remember back last year, the Flamethrowers had 15 different scores in the game.
I don't remember that, but I'll take your word for it. You're the guy that keeps the stat sheet, so I trust you. Well, good on the Spiders there, though. That's sort of a body blow where you see, the other team has this like big, bolt of energy, this big surge of energy because they just made this spectacular play and they just sort of, march down and score like it's nothing.
So this will fall for the Flamethrowers, and Elliot Chartok will survey the scene. Swing. Sanchez.
Davis is being backed by Brandon Fine by about 10 yards. Now he's closed up the gap a little bit, but he's playing way behind him.
He's looking in his mirrors, isn't Fine, just to keep an idea where Davis is.
Wow, that's lucky.
Kearns has it now. Wide open to swing here on the near side, so is Davis. Can Chartok dump it off to him?
Well, way to not travel there.
Now Kearns. Under 2 minutes to go in the third.
Good mark from Cross. He didn't. Ooh, nice inside out.
Swink working against Norden. Patient build-up here from the Flamethrowers. Chartok over the top, and the hammer finds the target, and it's Sam Swink with the goal. His first.
Like you said, patient. Nice patience from Chartok and from Eli Kearns. Super open.
Swink
on hammer. That's the. Now so upside down throws in Ultimate have different names. Every throw has a different name. The throw that looks like something almost like they're throwing a football is called a hammer. That's going to have generally a pretty significant amount of power. People can generally throw very deep hammers. I've also been referring to certain throws that are called scoobers. They're also upside down throws, but they tend to be more of sort of like a simple wrist flip as opposed to like a big, like a wound up shoulder experience.
Like a 3/4 over the top motion you like when you throw
Yeah, so he's going to throw this. This is like a football throw here. It's a lot of wrist, and this disc is going to drop in this way for a right-handed thrower, someone that's running towards your left, it's going to drop in front of them. The one that Chartok threw earlier to Cohen actually sort of travels against, I call it like against the grain. It doesn't arc into him, it's arcing away from him. So that was sort of more of a natural hammer position you want to be throwing to.
Still plenty of time in this third quarter.
Absolutely.
And in the game too, to be honest. Stearns threading it. Catching it on the run is Zakaro. Zakaro now has 2 goals in this third period. And the Spiders are still keeping the Flamethrowers at arm's length.
I don't know what Vitello is doing covering Jackson Stearns, because Vitello is shorter than me, and Stearns has got to be 6'4". This is just a pretty, easy routine play for these two guys, especially with a guy who's left-handed. When he gets the disc on this half of the field, he's going to be stepping out to throw his backhand. If you're anticipating the thrower being right-handed, it's not quite, he can't step quite as far around you to throw a forehand on that part of the field. So Stearns has really been operating from the half of the field that's closest to us, and he's very effective down there. He's generally much more comfortable throwing his backhand than his forehand as a rule of thumb. Man, San Jose really is kind of unruffled here, huh? They're just walk it down and score, walk it down and score.
Kearns has the disc.
Norden is just completely playing off Chartok. Oh, and it works. Oh, okay. It's a foul. Norden recognizes that he fouled him. Gives him a little hug. No hard feelings.
I meant to ask you on that last offensive possession, have we seen Shane Early come back on? Yep.
No, now that you mention it, no. That was Norden there who got a piece of the disc before it left Kearns' hand, so that's a foul. Nice, a great around break.
Here's Sanchez.
Another around break.
Now to Barry. Ooh, hammer over the top. Oh, well read, though. Nicely done by Sam Coombs, as it was intended for Eli Kearns. In the vicinity also was Jake Tozer there for the Spiders. hustling downfield is...
I think actually 65 is Karazi. Jake Tozer is much taller. That's Jeremy Karazi who's wearing that number today.
10 seconds on the clock.
Man, it's very tight. Oh, great throw. Nice.
Oh, that's an
beautiful cross-field hammer.
throw. From Fallett there to Coons. And that is a real...
tough pill to swallow for the Flamethrowers
exactly.
there.
Justin Norton with his first goal of the night. But again, the cross-field throws, Rubes, are on the money from the Spiders.
I mean, we can't really get a sense of the wind from up here, but when players are comfortable throwing cross-field throws and they're pretty much going where they want, and when they're throwing hammers and they pretty much go what they want, it's a pretty good indication that the wind has died down there. And both teams are pretty comfortable now throwing upside-down stuff, scoobers, hammers, etc. 0.4 seconds remaining.
Down here on the trainer's table, Antoine Davis getting his left calf worked on.
The guys who are going to be the heavy load, playing guys, this is probably the hardest and most they've played in months. Practice is long, but practice doesn't have the same sort of, intensity, so you don't work nearly as hard. You're not going to run quite as hard at practice as you do in the game. So for probably for Early and probably for Davis, this is the hardest they've worked in a while. So cramps and stuff like that are going to come with the territory.
There's a look at Antoine Davis getting worked on.
Yeah, he's definitely getting his calf dug on there.
Buzzer sounds for the end of the third, and that will do it. And just going to your point very briefly that Coach Greeno did refer to this as real combat for the first time. So yeah, we'll see if there's any attrition in the fourth quarter. The final 12 minutes of this one, the Spiders leading 18-14. We'll take a break, and we'll be back to wrap this one up here. The fourth quarter coming up soon.
This is about more than work. It's about growing a community. Every day, across the country, the highly skilled, highly trained members of the IBEW are committed to doing the job right, doing the job safe, and doing the job on time. Because while we might be experts in our field, we're also your friends and neighbors. IBEW, the power professionals in your neighborhood.
Go to Gray's. Gray's knows green. Family owned, Gray's Paints is the Bay Area's leading provider of Benjamin Moore paint, stains, and finishes. Gray's Paint will provide you unparalleled paint expertise, environmentally friendly products, and premium customer service to help you successfully navigate your project. Gray's Paint and Benjamin Moore, available at 4 Bay Area locations: Burlingame, San Mateo, Redwood City, and Menlo Park. Go to Gray's. Gray's knows green.
Fourth quarter of action coming up then from Laney College in Oakland. Next week it'll be the second of the home-and-home opener as the Spiders welcome the Flamethrowers to Los Altos at Foothill College, with I believe a 7 o'clock start for that one.
So one of the people we're seeing in the stands there is actually one of the 3 signed members of the Flamethrowers women's side. The Flamethrowers have not only an open team, they also have a women's team, and they're going to be combining those 2 teams into mixed teams. When you describe a co-ed in the ultimate world, we like to use the term mixed. They're going to be competing against Seattle. The Seattle Cascades are also going to have a female side as well. There are going to be 2 mixed games that are currently scheduled for Seattle to play against San Francisco. The one down here is going to be on May 26th, the Flamethrowers Cup, and there will be one mixed game up in Seattle. And in addition to that, the women Flamethrowers will be playing the women Cascades, 1 game up there and 1 game down here. So Flamethrowers doing their part for equity, keeping things equitable, give women as many opportunities as they can to play Pro Ultimate as they're giving for the men.
Here's a look at our next home game. Here is we'll have a rematch of that thrilling championship final from last season as the Flamethrowers took a 30-29 victory over Toronto. Don't forget the Rush had beaten San Francisco during the regular season in the 4th game of the Cross Coast Challenge. So definitely come out to Laney College at 6:30 opening pull and see a rematch of the 2017 AUDL championship game.
That game was unbelievable. It was a 1-point game, and both teams were playing really just fantastic ultimate.
Marcelo Sanchez with the final goal of the game to cap it. And that's a great diving catch by
Swink.
Nice Swink, indeed. And Davis is in for his 5th goal of the day.
I guess the little treatment at the table worked out there.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Like, as soon as this throw goes up, just watch him accelerate. Watch him kick it into gear. Once that disc is in the air, he kind of turns the corner and he closes to the disc pretty fast. One thing that is a real common coaching tip, and it's I think they teach it in soccer too. I believe they call it meet the ball, come to the ball. This disc is up, and he just turns the corner and runs right by his guy, wide open. So in soccer, they use the term meet the ball, right? You don't ever want to let the ball come to you. You go to the ball.
Right.
So in ultimate, it's called go to. And that's a great example of that, where the disc comes up, and even though he's sort of tailing away from it, he's going to turn towards the disc and close the gap. So he's never going to give his defender a chance to get in between him and the disc.
Flamethrowers have not been able to make it less than a 3-goal cushion for some time now in the game. Oh, it's deflected there by Corbett into the hands of Sabin.
It's Lynn again. Lynn with that big bending outside in forehand. Corbett's in really good position to make a D there. He kind of, you see him hold his head.
Yeah, I mean,
on the way out.
The expressions there on Jeffrey.
This disc is going to travel like this. Watch this. See how it arcs up and over? So it's going to drop in. Oh, he just missed it. Man. Corbett's in a really good position to make a D there. It helps that the man that Lynn is throwing to, Sabin, is taller than his defender.
Yeah, you're right, though. The looks on the faces of Jeffrey and Corbett said that was a big goal to concede there. A D would really shift the momentum, perhaps. As we mentioned, they've been unable to get to less than a 3-goal lead here in the second half. And now Spiders lead by 4. With 11 and a half to go.
Side stack here, traditional side stack, where everyone sets up on one half of the field and then they cut into the other half.
And there goes Davis. Wow, do you see him turn on the Jets there? Davis made an outrageous cut ahead of defenders.
But they're waiting on him.
Flamethrowers looking to score.
Oh, one-handed catch by Cohen.
And he held on to score.
Wow.
This is another nice throw that's going to come straight over the head of the defender. Tommy Adams is playing defense on Cohen here, and as soon as he gets his head turned around, it's coming at there. He just lost sight of the disc. Cohen had sight of the disc the whole time. Nice catch by Cohen there, going up and also, avoiding injury. That could be sort of an iffy play there. And good on Adams to he knows he's beaten. He's bailing out at that point. He's not going to try to do anything dangerous, or like make some crazy bid where he's going to take out Cohen midair.
But that's the look.
No, great catch from Cohen.
That was the look on his face that says time to put the team on my back time.
Yeah.
That we saw from
well, let's see.
week.
Is it going to be Cohen time here? He's playing more offense than he's playing defense, so he's going to have to do his work, by being a steady thrower and receiver, as opposed to kind of making these, crazy blocks that we've been accustomed to seeing him make.
Schofstein back out on the D team. This one over the top, giving chase is Corbett. Corbett trying to muscle in for position. It's deflected as he was assisted there by Vincenzo Vitiello.
Nice defense.
That's an example of Lynn definitely sort of feeling his oats, because Vitiello comes over from the other half of the field to help out there and just sort of interferes with it enough so Stearns doesn't have a one-on-one matchup. Now he's got to deal with 2 guys.
I didn't notice that was Stearns, so it was well spotted, and Vitiello's throw is...
Stephen Chang with the D, nice D.
It's not his finest, and now Flamethrowers are hoping to capitalize on that situation, unable to do so. Sakaro.
He wanted a foul there, but he didn't get it.
Now with Chang.
It's a little clogged. You notice the Flamethrowers defenders are kind of sloughing into the lanes to make it so they don't really have clear throwing lanes.
Schofstein doing a good job of hounding Sakaro here as every move gets at the Chang in space. And a goal for Zakaro. Just is able to step over the goal line. And Sonny Zakaro now has all 3 of his goals here in the second period of play.
I think he just might have gotten teed.
Zakaro's getting... Let's see what happened. They may not have given the goal as of yet.
He caught the disc and immediately threw it down, and the refs are trying to figure out if he was in bounds, I think.
Or if he crossed the...
If he crossed the... Yeah.
Yeah, because he was definitely...
See where he is here. Oh, I don't know.
No, that's not. No, that's a happy yard shy at least.
His right foot's on the outside of the 10-yard line there. That's a turnover.
I mean, it certainly looked from here, Rubes.
No, it didn't look like he was into me. The front of the 10-yard line is the front of the end zone. If his right foot is on one side when he catches it, it's not a goal. So the line is right here. Yeah, I don't think he was in. I think his right foot is on one half and his left foot's on the other half. That's not a goal. That's why you have referees.
Coach Salagrand is still pleading his case here. As you can see, it's a little bit of a chilly night here now at Laney.
It went from a beautiful, warm day, and it's a big crowd out here, but hopefully they were smart enough to bring some layers. Maybe a hat. Maybe a woolly hat.
Even the flame is cold, and that never happens. At least he's got more modest dress than he did last year, right?
Only in Oakland, right? What is it, 60? It's 60 degrees. People look like they're, yeah, it's 57, excuse me. And people look like they're out in the Alaska. Still a conversation here. What are they calling?
Well, timeout by the looks of it.
Sonny is not pleased. He is pretty upset.
But that's a mental mistake, though.
It is a mental mistake.
More than anything else. I mean, that's a...
I think there you could definitely see some frustration there. Maybe he's feeling like he's being fouled or being pushed around and there's no calls coming his way.
Hear that? It was not a score.
That's a turnover.
And a timeout was also called.
Yep. Turnover called by the referees. Timeout called by the Flamethrowers. It's a big goal. That was after a really kind of a dingy turnover from Vitiello that puts them on the doorstep and they can't cash it in.
Just like that earlier play where Coach Greeno bailed Schaffstein out.
Yep.
And the Flamethrowers come back the other way and score. And now Zakaro, with perhaps the easiest opportunity of the evening, is unable to convert. And now the Flamethrowers, who haven't been able to get closer than 3 goals, have a chance to do so here. Now with under 10 minutes to go.
A little risky here from the Spiders. They're going to double team. Oh, they're not going to double team. Okay, Norton's going to go play in the lane. But if they give a free throw to Chartok, he's shown that he's a capable thrower and not afraid of putting up something big.
Sanchez collects that on the run. Back to Chartok. Duvall gets into space. And now to Davis.
They're playing behind him. Turn him into a thrower and not a receiver.
Wow, Davis is totally freaked out. Brandon Fine there.
And he's tremendously open right now, too.
He is on the far side. No one is guarding him. Brandon Fine is giving chase, but Davis is open now. Can get it over the top to Cohen. Oh, nicely done to Sanchez and to Kearns. And Eli Kearns is the second goal of the game. And that is a huge swing.
Huge.
As Zakaro was unable to convert, and the Flamethrowers back within 2 goals.
So Davis was left alone here. So easy. And then Kearns just sort of cleans it up as a trailer. He's coming from coming from pretty far downfield, but it's a complete jailbreak because Davis was left open by a good 25 or 30 yards. And if everyone's behind, all the defenders are playing underneath the person they're defending. Once the disc gets past them, they're all completely out of position. But that's all generated by the fact that Fine is playing way behind Davis in general. Then Davis throws that giant pump fake. Fine bites it, is completely out of position, and then Davis runs, you know, all the way across field, and he's tremendously open. There's Andrew Zill, who's the owner, negotiating with the refs about that call. See how the Spiders can handle a little mental adversity here.
Well, curious things have not gone their way here in the second half, and the Flamethrowers, who made some mistakes in the first half, have been able to capitalize. Here's a huck over the top as Murphy gives chase. Oh, brilliant there by Ham. Might have used the back of Gavall.
He jumped over Stearns, but he also jumped into Stearns for sure.
And Kirkland was there as well.
Spiders remain in possession.
He's not the most comfortable thrower, Jackson Sturgis. He's more of a, you know, he's just more comfortable as a receiver, a goal scorer.
You said his backhand was the strongest
throw. His backhand is his strongest throw. His forehand is a little suspect. Oh, nice crossfield hammer.
Thread it back inside, and it's Stephen Chang with his first goal. So Zakaro with the assist, and the Spiders back to 3.
That's an excellent goal from the Spiders. They're doing a really good job in this game of weathering sort of the emotional ups and downs. You see the Flamethrowers are doing these tremendous, like, you know, their emotions are swinging wildly. They're doing very exciting things, and the Spiders just sort of come down and methodically score, you know? Good for them.
It makes it 13 different scores now.
This is going to be Stearns going up for the disc, and he gets cleaned out right there by Ham. It's definitely a foul. He caught him cleanly with his hip, and then Zakaro, easy inside out to Chang. So I'm giving the Spiders a lot of credit here. They're really taking some shots and getting up off the mat and fighting back.
The pull is up. Flamethrowers take possession.
Chartok has it. Swing to his right.
Norton is completely playing off. They're just kind of clogging the lanes here like they've been doing all game.
Davis right along sideline there is hounded every step of the way by Sabin. And a foul is called, Hernandez calls it on himself.
Former Stanford teammates, they know each other pretty well, I'm sure. Barry looks like he's coming off. He's saying he has an injury or a cramp or something like that, so Gavol is going to set in for him.
So I haven't seen Shane Early back yet either.
No, I think he had a cramp or something, some injury.
I can see a player rolling it out over there on the far side. Meanwhile, back to the action here near side. It's Kearns. Oh, threads that.
Yeah, it's a tight window.
Chartok needs Kearns here to bail him out. Ooh.
Karazi nearly got that. That's a good switch from Hernandez there. He comes off Chartok and picks up Kearns, who's going up line.
Oh, nice throw by Cohen, and diving for the goal is Gavall. That's his second. Cohen's another player group, safe to say, is comfortable throwing those type of throws down the sideline like that.
Yeah, and small window too, but Gavol gets his man in his back, and he's going to run as fast as he can. He's going to anticipate that throw coming. He's still going to make the cut regardless. If he doesn't get it, he's going to just turn and peel towards the middle of the field hope that the disc will swing cross field, and then he's going to keep running and keep his man out of the play.
So that's a Caro mistake earlier, has allowed the Flamethrowers to get back within 2. They've traded goals, and the clock is going to start to become a factor now as we approach the midpoint of this fourth quarter of play.
The pull is up.
Lynn has shown no fear about putting it up.
Murphy. The crowd for the first time tonight are really starting to get behind the home team here, the defending champions, in a battle here in the fourth quarter against their longtime foes. Chang has the disc. Cohen can get there. Oh, and a nasty collision there between all three flamethrowers. Boy,
that's an excellent find from Chang, because Sabin and he have eye contact. For whatever reason, Sabin's man is kind of out of the play, and he's running to a real wide open empty pocket of the field where Chang puts it, but then you get you know, four players trying to converge on the disc at the same time. Let's see this replay here.
Hard to tell who came off the worst of this collision here.
This is a nice spot for this disc to go into. Ooh, boy, they just got clobbered. Yeah. Corbett got nailed by his own man.
Yeah, Corbett, I think, definitely got...
He walked off, so I think he's okay, but he definitely got drilled.
But he's a player that's had a history of niggling injuries over the course of last season, and you'd hate to see Corbett get injured here in the first game with the kind of game he's had. Just the one goal, but
this is, by the way, there's no foul called here. That's a turnover.
No foul called on the play.
Wow, Roops is ahead of everybody here, but that's just one of those things.
It's just a big collision, and you know, he didn't get interfered with. Sabin didn't get interfered with. That throw sort of bent back to the middle.
Here we go. The flamethrowers. Will it stay up long enough? It won't. It's swatted away by Brandon Fine.
Had to have it. He had to have it. Wow, Sanchez is super open. That's a nice throw. Fine heads up defense. He drops off his man. Oh, wow, that's not Sanchez. I'm sorry, that's
Alex Pan.
That's Pan, but he had beaten Stearns. Nice D by Fine.
Tense couple moments.
Nice break.
Dump it off to Justin Norton.
I think fatigue might start kicking in here pretty soon.
Stearns uncorks one over the top. Oh, and unable to come up with it is Ethan Fallett.
That is Gavol's bid that creates that block. It's not even a block. He created that turnover just by bidding really hard for it.
Corbett, in the meantime, has been worked on the trainer's table, and I guess an offensive player has to play defender there, because that was going straight into the hands of Norton. It's Alex Grande there. Now,
fatigue, I think, might start kicking in here. Let's see what's happening downfield with these cutters. If they have to swing it back and forth over and over and over.
Stearns is open in the middle. This might swing back, though, towards Byron Liu, and it's deflected off of Sabin.
If either Stearns or Sabin stays after that disc, that's probably a goal. That floated past everybody into the end zone. I think Sabin and Stearns both look at each other and say, you got it. No, you got it. The one thing I've seen from the Spiders offense here is there's been a couple of occasions where there have been sort of cluttered deep areas where other defenders have been brought in when maybe they weren't open.
Kearns looking deep for Grande. Grande on his horse. Grande will get in front of Sabin and make the catch. His first goal could not have come at a better time for the Flamethrowers, and they were within one with under 4 minutes to go.
You could see that developing. As soon as the throw went up to Kearns, Grande puts his head down and goes deep, and for some reason, nobody goes with him. So as a cutter, if you start running deep and you don't have any sense that your defender's anywhere around you, you just keep going in the hopes that the thrower can find you, they can get it to you. Kearns is a long-time elite level player, and he just puts it on a dime, puts it where it needs to be. Nice throw. There's that fatigue kicking in there. Sabin is tall and fast, but he's been working really hard this game.
And especially in the second half.
Especially the second half. So maybe if he's got a little bit more in the tank, he could run a step or two faster and go make that either a tougher play for Grande or just get in there and D it, because he's, a good 6-8 inches taller.
You have to give some credit, though, to Coach Greeno for keeping rotating pretty much everyone has got some time on the field tonight.
Well, what did he tell us? He doesn't know. He said the analogy he used is he doesn't know what kind of car he has or even how to drive it. So he's going to be experimenting with stuff probably for the first 6 weeks of the season until he figures out what's going to work for him.
That one is intended for Chang. Chang can't get it, but Mark Lin can. He went a little quiet after the third quarter, but that's a big goal for him. A quick score for the Spiders. They're back up by 2.
Wow, 3 minutes of crunch time here. What do the Flamethrowers have left in the tank? There's somebody else down there with a cramp.
Is that Davis?
Yeah, it's Davis. Chang is so open here. He just ran past everybody. So did Lin, for that matter. They've got 2 completely wide open guys in the end zone.
Remember to stick around after the game.
He's cramping. I guarantee he's cramping.
And it's the same leg he was getting treated on earlier.
He's a physical, he's a personal trainer in his regular life. He's quite a specimen if you've gotten a look at him. So he knows what's going on. He's smiling. He's not injured. He's just cramping.
First game of the season.
But like you said, first combat, right? The bullets are flying, and this is the, there's a, I know you want to use the word casualty lightly, but I guess if that's the analogy, that might be him and Early. It often tends to be the guys that are the cutters because they got to cover so much ground. I played handler my whole career, so I was, lazy. I didn't cramp that much.
but to talk briefly about Davis, though, he was one of the big breakout stars in the AUDL last season.
Absolutely. Well, you could, if you watched him play at all last season, there's some athletes you watch that are really just dynamic and exciting.
Right.
And for Ultimate, it's kind of hard to, use the term exciting to describe people all the time because, people who understand the game might get excited like me about great throws. But from anybody's perspective, if you're a sports fan, you could point at that guy and go, that guy's exciting. It doesn't matter what sport he's playing.
That highlight, the one that was here against, I think
it was against Vancouver, where it was a throw that wasn't to him, and he jumped over
3 guys. And
golly, it was amazing.
Yeah. And that play was ahead of LeBron James in the Sports Center top 10.
It was deservedly so, because it was by any metric, it was a tremendous athletic play.
But that proves your point, that you see that and it's like, wow, that guy just did something that not everybody can do.
The pull is up.
And he is, of course, one of the 3 captains for the Flamethrowers here in 2018. Coach Greeno did say the remaining champs from last season bring a confidence and swagger, have earned the right to do so. How much will that play into this final 3.5 minutes? We're about to find out.
I'll give Coach Grant some credit. I think he had a game plan. Oh, boy.
Cohen now battling hard. Cohen with the extra effort just can't get there in time. The double team was strong from San Jose.
Spiders take possession.
And
something happened here. Oh, it's an injury again. Barry came off earlier, and he's off again. Coming off again. I was back to what I was saying to Coach Grant. I'll give him a lot of credit. They clearly came in with a game plan to try to contain Davis to the point at which I think anytime he started to go deep, all of the defense was very keyed on him. They put Brandon Fine on him a lot in this game, and Fine was backing him consistently until they kind of figure out who the other offensive weapons on this team are going to be. The things you can take away deep is you say, do not let him go deep on you. Do not let him score goals on us. And they did a good job. He hasn't gone bananas like he has in past games.
Norton will get us back underway. Davis, as we saw, getting the same left calf worked on. In the meantime, Fallett has it.
A little too much dinking and dunking in the end zone here, I think, for their taste. We get it out.
They can do so on the far side. Taking time off the clock. 2-goal lead here for the Spiders. They thread it back inside to Norton.
Nice break.
Defense chance come up from the home crowd once again.
Ooh.
High catch there by Fine. Leaping to reel that one in. Making a cut downfield there is Tommy Adams. Now open as well. It's number 74, and that's swatted away. Big play defensively there by the Flamethrowers.
That was supposed to be an inside-out forehand. That ends up being an outside-in forehand. It does not bend into the receiver. It drifts away from him, giving the trailing defender a chance to get his hand in there.
Sorry, did you say 74 was Karazi, you thought? We'll come back to that. Oh, one-handed snatch by Kearns. Gavall is steaming forward. Swink will look for him. Gavall with a two-handed catch. Open on the near side is Jeffrey. Can he get there? He can. Flamethrowers within one. Jeffrey with his first goal of the game.
That is a rough one for the Spiders. Sam Coons is upset with himself, visibly upset with himself, because that shot that he took there, that inside-out throw attempt that ends up getting D'd, I mean, that could pretty much put the game away. That makes it a 3-point game with 1:46 to go. Instead, Flamethrowers within one. It's just those sort of mistakes are the sort of things you make when you're tired, where you just don't exactly execute it the way that you want. You know, the disc doesn't quite come off your hand the way you want because you're tired. That's supposed to be an inside-out forehand. It ends up being an outside-in forehand that, like I said, bends away from the receiver.
So here we go. The defending champions perhaps are not willing to relinquish the crown just yet. Back and forth battle this has been. A roller coaster of emotions for the Spiders in particular.
It would be in the Spiders' best interest here to burn a little bit of time. Not at the expense of giving up a goal, obviously, but just possess it for a little while.
Davis is back up off the trainer's table, meanwhile. Minute 10 to go.
1:10 left to go in the game.
Sakaro over to the far side.
They're doing it here. They burned 30 seconds off the clock already.
Stewart's totally faked out his play there and sends it back to Sakaro, and they are doing a fine job now of taking time off the clock with under less than a minute to go now.
This is sort of right in the Spiders' wheelhouse. They've got some established handlers that know how to work together, and they can just kind of dink and dunk. Now they're going backwards. They don't care.
And a whistle.
What's the call?
Timeout.
Timeout called.
Timeout is called. 40.4 seconds to go. Spiders clinging to a 1-point lead.
Timeout. 40.4 seconds.
Should be a fascinating final 40 seconds of this one.
21-20.
And we couldn't do it without our wonderful sponsors.
For you Giants fans out there,
we do have some wonderful sponsors.
We do. They're outstanding, like Boone Technical Clothing, the clothing partner for the AUDL and the Flamethrowers, performance sports apparel company based in the Philippines, focusing on quality. Boone aims to give athletes the edge to perform. Kinetic Arts Center, circus, fitness, and inspiration. Minuteman Press of Berkeley, great community partner and fantastic local printing. I had my Christmas cards printed there, by the way. Waxy Sanitary Supply, the most trusted source in cleanliness business. Waxy Sanitary Supply. Oakland United Beer Works, the best in local craft beer. Air Park, great long-term parking at the Oakland Airport, conveniently located on 98th Avenue. It's a timeout call, 40 seconds to go. Spiders, as you mentioned, have taken the best part of maybe 40 seconds or so, 35 seconds, give or take, off the clock. How do the Flamethrowers put this back?
And we're back.
Still content to dink and dunk here. How do those cards turn out, by the way, Steven?
Great.
Good.
I'll send you one next year.
Please do.
I should have sent you one this year, too. But anyway, 30
That's
seconds
right.
to
Why
go.
didn't I get one?
Sanchez.
I'm sure they just called a timeout and said, do not throw it in the end zone.
Oh, Davis almost got to it.
He did get it.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
The huck over the top, looking for Cohen against Sakaro. It's Cohen, and it's swatted away by Sakaro. Can you believe it?
Wow.
3, 2, 1.
And time expires.
Wow.
And the Spiders have taken an enthralling victory here in week one against the defending champions, who showed admirable resiliency down the stretch. And then for half a second, Rubes, it looked like Greg Cohen would make the sensational grab to send this to overtime. What a game.
What a game. And I like let's look at the players that just affected that. Antoine Davis comes off the trainer's table, comes out, gets a D, and Zaccaro, who maybe made the most critical error of the entire game when he spikes the disc out of sort of spite or anger or whatever, when he's not in the end zone, he makes a D on a guy significantly taller than him. Here's Antoine's D on Stearns, who's been killing everybody all day. He somehow digs deep to make that block. Digs deep to make the D.
I can't believe that. I mean, I've seen
this is a nice layout block from Davis. God, he must have just gotten just the barest fingernail on that one, because we both thought that was going to get through.
Stearns looked like he wanted to foul. He didn't get it. And then who uncorked that? Was that?
I'm not sure who threw it.
We'll come back to that.
We can come back to that.
We got to take a break. We're going to catch our breath. Spiders with a thrilling victory here, 21-20 on the road in San Francisco. We'll be back to wrap this one up in a moment.
Our smiles can light up a room. Our work can light up an entire city. We're the men and women of the IBEW, working with a code of excellence that guarantees the job will be done right, on time, and safely. We're lighting the path to the future. Let us show you just how bright that path is.
One of our successes has always been able to find the B personalities, and the B personality just stands for Butler, which means fitting into our organization. We could have been a much bigger company if we had chosen to be, but it's been the philosophy of both myself, Bill, and the leadership team to stay at a size that we really know all of our team members and their family members, because we're only as good as the team member sitting next to us.
Welcome back to Laney College. What a thrilling opening night contest. Antoine Davis signing some discs. You can see the AUDL championship trophy there in the background. The defending champions might not have taken the victory here in the home opener groups, but they definitely showed that there is a lot of heart on this team.
You know, that trophy not only has the San Francisco Flamethrowers name on it, it also has the San Jose Spiders name on it twice.
Good point.
So both these teams sort of championship pedigrees. You know, the individual players have kind of come and gone. Antoine getting a little TLC there from his lady friend. But oh, man, what a game. I mean, we were talking in one of the breaks where I thought that the Flamethrowers were just done.
Yeah.
But good on them to rally back and make this. They could have tied it with that last throw, and I'll give Zaccaro a lot of credit here to make that last block over a taller guy, over Cohen. Take a look at some highlights here. This is a little fake, and then Marcelo Sanchez plants, spins his guy and loses him. This is this spectacular cross-field throw from Eli Kearns, one of Antoine's many goals.
5 goals for Antoine on the day.
Zaccaro had a really good game, too.
Apart from that one mistake.
He had an excellent game. Really good game. There's Kearns. He's going to do a lot of that this year. He's going to be one of the main scorers. That was one of several blocks where Spiders defenders did a really nice job of playing last back defense and helping out. And a little helping out on offense as well there, where Lin's going to trail Chang to make sure that he actually cashes it in. And this is just, you know, a little bit of breakdowns here and there defensively from both teams. And this is a nice block from Antoine. I'm not sure how he got there, but he definitely did.
I've seen it 3 times now. I still don't know how he did.
And then Kearns with the shot in the end zone. Zaccaro really makes a nice play here because that just maybe hung up a little shorter than Cohen anticipated. But give Zaccaro a lot of credit. Cohen definitely, I've seen him jump over crowds before. It's kind of his forte to make plays like that. So I give Zaccaro a lot of credit from rallying back from almost basically losing them the game to make that play.
I know we only have a second here, but the footwork by Zaccaro, that maneuvering inside of Cohen.
He plays a lot of basketball, you can tell.
Yep. Well, what a game. Outstanding stuff in the opener. Our next broadcast here, well, the next home game, I should say, is going to be on the 21st as the defending champions Flamethrowers welcome their vanquished finalists in last year's championship final. They will play the Toronto Rush for the third time here in 2 seasons. The AUDL crew, Evan Leplin and the gang, will be here to broadcast that one. We'll be back on the 28th as the Flamethrowers welcome the Growlers to town for the first meeting against San Diego this season. So that's when you'll see Rubes and myself back.
Or hear us at least.
What's that? Or hear us at least. Yeah, that's true. And yeah, so the 21st against the Rush, and then the 28th against the Growlers. So 3 out of the first 4 games for the Flamethrowers at home. This rivalry series will continue next week.
Some of the new kids got some fans out there.
Yeah, I saw that. And the 20th game of the rivalry will be next week at Foothill College in Los Altos as the 2 teams pick up their rivalry once again. Player of the Game Award, Rubes, take it away.
A lot like these guys, he's new to the team. He's new to San Jose this season. We're going to be giving that to Mark Lynn. He's number 33. He did a tremendous Chuck Cow impression this game. Chuck Cow last year was one of their big downfield huck throwers, and Lynn filled those shoes admirably today with several really beautiful forehand bombs, and I think he had a great game. You could make a strong argument for Sonny Zaccaro maybe not filling up the stat sheet quite as much, but definitely had a huge impact. Lots of touches. I bet completions-wise, he was close to 100%, and he was an integral part of their offense.
Antoine Davis with 5 goals to lead all scorers, so he was probably the best player on the other team. So commiserations, of course, to San Francisco. Anyway, we're about done. We're going to head over to the Oakland United Beer Works for a swift one. From all of us here at the Bay Area Online Sports Network, our producer Jim Petramilli and our entire crew, for Matt Ruby, my name is Stephen Davies. The Spiders take the opening of 4 games this season against the defending champion Flamethrowers. The final score, San Jose 21, San Francisco 20. From all of us here at the Bay Area Online Sports Network, ciao for now.